Sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shores Beyond UPSC. Today, I am joined by Palak Jain. She's working currently as an assistant registrar at National Company Law Tribunal. And she's here to discuss about her journey of preparing for UPSC and then carving out a career for herself in the legal field. So, welcome, Palak, to the show.
Thank you, Mika.
So to start with, Palak, could you start by describing how and when did you decide to prepare for UPSC Civil Services examination, and how did that journey go?
So, first of all, at the outset, I would like to thank the team of Shores Beyond UPSC, and of course, you, Mika, in particular, for having me over. You know, when you start preparing for UPSC, you every day you imagine yourself to be in one of those successful videos, okay? And this video is very anticlimactic, I would say, because this is not what I thought I would be doing. That as a UPSC survivor, I would be making a video, but I feel phenomenal. I feel very happy to be a part of this. And just thank you so much for having me here. About my UPSC journey, I decided to take up UPSC after graduation. I graduated in 2015 from National Law Institute, University, Bhopal. As a fresh lawyer, honestly, I didn't think to go for UPSC. Also, I was very unsure of what I will do, because I was not a person, I was not prepared for a corporate law life, or neither I was prepared to go for the litigation, like the core legal jobs. While my graduation also, I mean, while I was in law school, I used to go for very different edgy kind of internships where people used to say, yaar, yahan kyun gayi hai tu ye internship karne? I used to go for very weird kind of internships, atypical internships, I would say. What people used to think, why would someone from a law school go there? So, but I used to do it for the appeal that I had for, this issues of governance and social justice. So I used to go for public policy internships, etc., etc. At that time, honestly, we didn't have that kind of awareness. I'm talking about 2010 to 15. We didn't have that kind of awareness for public policy as a serious discipline.
Right.
So I just feel that I didn't have that kind of understanding, the knowledge, didn't have people to talk to. So a platform like this, now I can connect the dots, seeing backwards, that if I had something like this, my journey probably would have been way more smooth, way more interesting maybe. But anyway, that's something that you always see retrospectively, that you could have done this right or that right, but ultimately it's your journey. Wrong or right, it's up to you to own it. So I own it completely. So after my graduation, I used to hear a lot from people that, okay, anyway, you don't seem to be that very lawyer kind. You go for UPSC only, you're good academically, you will clear it in one go. I sat for my first attempt just because people said, oh, you will clear UPSC easily. So I sat for my attempt. I saw that, okay, fine, this is good. This is good. I can do it. So that's why I entered the prep process. Within 6 months from after quit, I joined my job. Within 6 months, I realized that, okay, let's give it a try. The paper seems quite interesting. These are the things I would like to know more about. So I think in 2016 I started my preparation. Went to Delhi, like the Makkah Medina of the UPSC aspirants. Did put all the checklists, all the correct answers. Completely giving it full time. Joining the best coachings, giving all the test series, everything, and plus adding to that, I had a very good community of people who were preparing side by side. So I think I also feel that this is something that was very interesting for me. Those 2 3 years, I had a very great companionship of people who were very serious aspirants. So a lot of learnings, I feel, not just in terms of knowledge, but in terms of the what are the perspectives I can get from these people who are coming from very diverse backgrounds. So in your law school or as a lawyer, I would have had interactions with very limited set of people or professionals, is what I feel. But given this exam, I just met a lot of interesting people who may not have had the same experiences or same qualifications as I do. So I think that is one of the biggest takeaways also, I feel, when you start the journey, that you get to see various perspectives. So that is where it all started, I feel, in 2016. um, I think then post that, your attempts were there. I was giving attempts, but at the same time, I was also working. So I think I was a very hustler from my nature. I was a very, big time hustler. I was very restless. So even while I was giving my exams, I used to clear prelims, then I used to give mains, and then I used to have 2-3 months off while waiting for the interview. So I used to go for, different kind of gigs, take up small opportunities of 2 to 3 months, explore them, work on it, have fantastic experiences, get to meet many people. I also went for a political campaigning to Gujarat in 2017. We campaigned for the CM, Mr. Vijay Rupani. We campaigned for his seat, which was a fantastic experience. And this is something that, it just happens. You don't plan for it, right? You don't plan for doing these things. So I think I'm also a believer that I'm open to new opportunities. I don't close them on the door. I like to explore it. So I think all of this just gives you a very interesting perspective towards life. If you restrict yourself to something, then you restrict opportunities, knowledge. And I think UPSC sometimes, of course, a lot of good things happen, but a lot of bad things also happen. There's just too much over positivity. I call it the over positivity syndrome.
Yeah.
People there are just too over positive, that just work, do this, and you will clear. So at times you kind of get detached from reality and the probability of clearing the exam also.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to be real also, pragmatic also. It's great to be positive. I'm not not promoting negativity, but it's important to know the pragmatism around the exam also. It's an exam ultimately,
Yeah.
and the only choice you can make is choosing to give the exam, and there is no choice beyond it, not even the service you will get or the cadre you will get. So I think that needs to be set straight, that you have to be very conscious of what you are doing.
Okay. Uh, on that point, I would like to ask you, when did you decide that, okay, now I need to get detached from the UPSC cycle, the cycle of giving exams again and again, and then maybe focus on building a career? When did that shift?
Right. So I think I am what is called in the UPSC community as a UPSC veteran.
Oh,
So someone who gives more than 2 attempts, I think he gets into the veteran zone. He becomes कि आप तो veteran है, you know so much, and then it becomes very hard to get out, because you feel that you own it. How are you not clearing this exam? Because you know so much than these new kids that are coming on the block. You know far better, and you will clear this exam. So I also have had that syndrome, that veteran syndrome at times also. So yeah, initially for 2 attempts, obviously I was, as I said, I was doing part-time gigs, but I was never fully aware of the possibilities of doing anything else, because I quit my job, didn't know what to do. I felt every time, because I was clearing prelims, so I had that confidence in me somehow. Even if I was maybe not clearing my prelims, also maybe I would have taken a, I would have just left the preparation. But because I was clearing prelims every time, I had that hope in me alive all the time. That okay, this time definitely it will happen. Maybe few marks here and there are happening. Maybe I'll fix it this time. So constantly I was in that zone. But yes, after the second attempt, I feel that I thought that just uh, seeing it in a very different light. Because I was hustling for something I had really no idea about. I think hustling for a designation, but didn't know what the work entails. What is on the other side of what I'm looking for.
right.
So in 2018, I made a very conscious decision that I will now work full time. Maybe I'll see if I'll give the prelims or not, and only after that I'll decide. So I joined in 2018, end of the year. I joined the National Commission for Women as a legal consultant. Worked with them for 3 years. It was a fabulous time for me in terms of my professional growth. I learned a lot about how government works. I finally had an idea about what I was so much desperate about. What was the what was the buzz all about? And also I realized that, impact is not designation specific, which I personally thought that जिस दिन IAS बन जाऊंगी, I'll do this, I'll do that, मैं दुनिया बदल दूंगी. But I realized that impact is obviously it's only person specific. The moment you realize or moment you decide that you want to do something for people, you can do it irrespective of where you are. Unfortunately, when we are giving the exam, that is what we tell the interview board and people around, but that is just very partial truth. The exam that we are giving is also for our own satisfaction, because the external validation that comes from giving the exam is something that is not attached in India, at least, to any other profession. There are very few professions which come with that kind of power at such an early age. Right. Even as a lawyer, you'll have to establish yourself for cases, and then you'll reach somewhere, where you are called as a doyen of a particular, okay, he's a criminal law professional, he's very good at it. It takes years of practice. But with UPSC, just an exam gives you the validation that takes years and years of hard work. So that is something people are so obsessed about, is what I feel. That, just clearing an exam will give you all the prestige and power, irrespective of what you will actually do later in your profession. That comes very late. Actual work starts after you give the exam, but that is hardly looked at, right? Same is the case with other professions. As a doctor, as a teacher, it takes for you time to be a master at your own job. But with the exam, it is not the case. And that's why there's so much external validation attached, and people want everything so early today. So all of it somehow, impacts that our love for UPSC. And we tell ourselves that we want to create impact, but I think that is also a very important factor in the back of our minds. Because if it would have been just impact creation, there are many ways you can do that. But yes, that validation is also a part of it. So yeah, while in NCW, as I was saying, that I realized that impact can be created in ways more than one. Amazing experience I had, but even during that time I was giving my exam, so I will not say that I cut this whole ambition of clearing the UPSC. It's an addiction, very hard to resist. I gave the exam, and thankfully was supported by the organization also. After that, after 3 years, I quit the organization. I worked with Piramal Foundation as a senior program leader there. I was assisting the school education department in Madhya Pradesh. I was located in Bhopal. Again, I was still giving the exam even when I was working with them. So, I couldn't resist the fascination with the exam. It was not easy. Although now I look back and I think, okay, I could have just, let it be. But of course, the journey is mine. And I again have to own up what I was doing. At that point, maybe it was necessary for me to give this exam to just understand more about my own self. And I have definitely learned a lot in the process. I think post 2021, 2022, then it was very clear to me that I don't want to give the exam, and I want to completely concentrate on the work I am doing with all honesty and sincerity. And very recently, I've joined as an assistant registrar with the National Company Law Tribunal, the Cuttack bench. I think it's I've just started, so I cannot really comment on what it's going to be, but it's been amazing few weeks here, and just I'm very happy to have this journey.
That's great to know. So to decide that you would like to pursue your or build your career in the legal field, it helped you because you had a law degree. So what advice would you like to give to other people, other aspirants, people who feel they are stuck in the exam cycle or are feeling lost? What is your suggestion to those people out there? That how can they maybe make a better decision about building their career, maybe not take too long, and maybe pivot their career at the right time, probably with the right kind of guidance?
Right, Megha. So I feel when we are preparing for the exam, we kind of have this mentality that it is even blasphemous to think that we won't be clearing. You are just branded and labeled as someone who is negative in your approach. Every day you have to see quotes that success will come, and that's how you train yourself, and the coachings train you to be positive. Again, nothing bad about it. Obviously, we all want to be positive and we all want to be successful. However, as I say, it's an exam.
Hmm.
An exam comes with a set of probabilities, uncertainties, and you cannot negate that. No matter what you do, there will only be like 100, 200 people at best
Hmm.
who will be clearing who will be becoming IS officers. I mean, not just clearing exam, 100,000 people are doing, but even after that, people are giving exam again and again. I'm sure there are just so many people who have cleared the exam, gotten into a service, but they won't stop till they get to an IS position.
Right.
In fact, my own husband, he's an IPS officer, but till the last minute he was hoping to get an IS position. So it's something that is ingrained in us that we have to be an IS officer. So UPSC itself is not enough. It's not sufficient. You have to get to that post also of your choice.
Hmm.
So initially, when you are entering, again, it's so blasphemous to think that you can't clear.
Hmm.
But I feel that it's important to give that space to your gut feeling.
Hmm.
When it says that, give it a hustle, give it a hustle, please do it. If you have the privileges
Hmm.
that give you that time, space, please, I mean, don't be afraid to use it, is all I can say. But again, not everyone is not privileged. And when I say privilege, it comes with a lot of things. It can be financial, it can be various other things that come. Maybe for a woman or for a man, there are privileges set in the society that are very different, and we cannot negate that also. So everybody is having their own battle.
Hmm.
I think one just needs to be conscious about that battle and assume that you just have one attempt. I think that having that set of mind will help you better. Don't think there are 6 attempts, मैं पहला खराब कर देती हूँ and then I'll go for a second. Then that sets into a very big problem, because after the second attempt, it becomes an addiction, because you're constantly, as I said, constantly surrounded with people of over positive syndrome
Hmm.
who will refuse to believe that anything else will match up to this. And there is no other way that if you will do hard work, you will get success. They equate hard work is equal to success in UPSC, but that is not the case. Hard work is not equal to success in UPSC. Hard work is equal to success in anything that you will do.
Hmm.
Maybe not UPSC, right? So I think that needs to be uh, ingrained a lot. But again, the kind of peer we keep ourselves around, it is not easy to percolate. This kind of messaging is not easy to percolate. So just don't drown yourself in lot of noises is all I will tell people. It's ultimately your journey. You are free to do one attempt, 6 attempts, or more than. There are people who have given more than 6 attempts also. So it's absolutely fine. Just assess your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, because even what you are not earning today is a loss, right? Even what you are not getting as a job, or you're not being part of an industry, is a loss.
Hmm.
It's not just you are just sitting and not spending a lot of money, but the things that you are not earning at this productive age is also a very big opportunity cost, right? So we have to assess all of it, I think. Not everyone is that privileged, and we need to have that understanding. So even when after 2 3 attempts, even I started working full time and gave attempts. So I was also giving my prelims, mains. When I was working, I was free without a job, I was also giving prelims and mains. When I was working, I was giving prelims and mains. So I think after 1 or 2 attempts, you get a hang of the exam. If you want to pursue it further, try and see if you can do it with something in your hand. It gets you a confidence also. It gives you that confidence also.
Definitely.
But again, it's not easier said than done. You need to assess where you are.
Hmm.
Maybe for some people it works, but maybe for some people it doesn't work. So
Hmm.
whatever works for you, just listen to your gut feeling is all I can say. I can't be preachy that do this or do that. I'm not one who can be right about it. There are people who have just cleared it in the last attempt, and maybe if I give my last attempt now, maybe I clear it. People tell me that aakhi wala de do, but that's a choice you have to make. You have to listen to your gut feeling. What does it say?
Hmm.
If it says stop it, please stop it. Do not drown yourself in other people's validation. You will get validation anywhere in any success, but it is for a limited amount of time. After that, it's you and your work which will give you satisfaction every day.
Right.
So just go with it.
And for people out there with a law degree in hand, if they are stuck in the cycle of this examination, and they have not maybe pursued internships in this field, or maybe they were thinking about litigation, and now after some point, maybe at the age of 28, 29, 30, they feel kind of lost that where should they go. If they want to pursue a career, what should be the starting point for them? What would you suggest?
Frankly, I've seen now a lot of lawyers are entering into the race of UPSC, and they are doing very well in terms of their success rate and all. They are doing phenomenal, I would say. Initially, I think not many lawyers entered the bureaucracy, but now there's just too many people. In fact, a lot of people now who are non-lawyers are also taking up law optional and giving the exam. So I see that law as a discipline has lot of connections with what you're trying to do in UPSC. There are just many interlinkages, and even when you become something after UPSC, this is law is a discipline that percolates everything, right? So as a lawyer, I feel that you definitely have that advantage in terms of the discipline, the linkages of discipline with the UPSC preparation. However, at the same time, usually in the legal field today, what is sought after is specialization, right? Specialists. Whether I'm a corporate law specialist, or I'm a banking law specialist, or a competition law, very specific niche fields are is something that people are sought after, right? But what happens with UPSC? People lose that specialization because the preparation makes you a very generalist, right? And there is a very huge debate on whether UPSC should continue with being a very generalist kind of an exam, because it is right now. Same people giving exam are now becoming IAS, IPS, IFS. So one exam and you can get any service. And all these services have very different kind of work ethics, work culture, and the job role demands are very different. But still, we have that generalist approach right now. Again, that's a question that we are not here to discuss about. But yes, the issue being that UPSC makes you a bit of a generalist. You become a jack of all. And the industry demands master in one of the mostly it demands a master in one particular area. That becomes a problem, and that is what I also faced when I tried to look for a job. I was I have seen more rejections than successes when I was looking for a job, I would say. And there's nothing wrong to admit it, because yes, it's a fact that once you enter the UPSC field, you lose track of all the legal updates in a particular area. You are not able to create a niche for yourself in a particular area, because you know everything. You are a know-it-all now. You know geography, history, everything. So I tried to use that to my advantage. In the last 8 years of my professional life, I have worked in various sectors. I have worked in the skill development sector. I worked in the education sector. I worked in the gender sector. I worked in the political sector. I'm currently working in a sort of a corporate, corporate law, company law. So again, in government, but yes, the sectors are very different. So I have utilized my interest, the passion for law, by diversity of sectors. However, it may not be helpful to everyone. Right. So what I would suggest is, if you have a interest for a particular sector, no matter even if you are giving your UPSC exam, I would just give you a humble suggestion to always stay connected with that particular area. And have that deep dive into at least one area of your choice. So even when you later on decide after 2 years, 3 years that, oh, I want to go back, there is the industry does not see you as aapko abhi kya aata hai guys iske bare mein. So you should have that understanding of that particular area. However, I'm not saying that for other people there is nothing. For people like me, I've worked in various areas. I've worked for 3 years when I was just working for women rights and women laws completely. And then I completely switched to working in education sector, where I was dealing with service matters and administrative matters and education matters. So, you can develop while on the job also. But obviously, it's again, opportunities are very unpredictable. You cannot think that today that what will happen in future. So it's always better. What I think I should have done is something that I am telling, that have that one area where you feel that you would want to do if UPSC doesn't work. Just in case, God forbid, it doesn't work, this is the particular law area I would want to work in. Build your niche there. With whatever time you get after your studies and all, just build your niche there. Do some certification course, or put out a publication. I think for lawyers, because it is very important what kind of publications you are doing, what kind of internships you are doing, certifications you have, it becomes very important for a lawyer. So I think that will definitely help you improve your CV. So even if you are not doing anything, just do those certifications side by side. It should not look that you were just doing UPSC and you have nothing to show for it now, because that is what is happening usually. The gap years are not, we can't explain them right in the CV. So that would definitely help.
Okay. So basically, you're suggesting that if someone like yourself is a lawyer by training, he or she should stay in touch with one particular sector within the larger umbrella of law, and then maybe try to maneuver it later on into building a career if UPSC doesn't.
Yes, because obviously you're reading a lot. So obviously you can't catch up with all the legal updates of the world. It's just not possible and not feasible. So at least if you are doing your UPSC, just one area of law, maybe if of your interest, continue to pursue it, may be helpful. Otherwise, if you're very sure that you don't want to go into a very particular niche area of law or a core legal job, then you can obviously work on your legal and policy areas and other areas, just how I worked, right? But a lot of people I've seen after quitting UPSC, many of them just switch to very core legal jobs. So for them, it becomes a bit difficult. They are placed very back in their career trajectory. So that would definitely help them, is all I can say.
आई थिंक ये डिस्कशन से काफी लोगों को हेल्प मिलेगी जो यूपीएससी के लिए तैयारी या तो सोच रहे हैं करने की, कर रहे हैं, या कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा लॉस्ट फील कर रहे हैं. सो दिस हैज बीन रियली हेल्पफुल, पलक. Thank you so much for discussing
Thank you, Megha.
sharing all this information. I hope it helps people out there. Thank you so much.
Oh, I hope so too. I wish I would have had something like this when I was preparing. But I mean, even if it helps one person, it's amazing. It's going to be great.
Thankfully, the public policy space, the legal space has opened up now much more than
it's opened up. Even the government has opened up for, yes, I would like to add to it. I mean, I am working within the government now for for in the commission also. As a part of government I've been working, but not someone in the government. I mean, you can just be your own self and still be a part of the government today. There are just so many opportunities to explore that angle also. If you want to see what it is like, would you even enjoy working in a space like this or in a culture like this? So you have so many resources to know about it today. There's just a lot of knowledge out there in the open, and lot of these job positions are now open. In fact, government itself has now started lateral hiring and all of it. That shows how much they are craving specialist people in the system. So it's never bad to have that specialization in a couple of areas. It will definitely help you sooner or later, is what I feel, because even the government is looking, because the generalists they're anyway getting from UPSC. So once if you clear UPSC, it's great. But even if you don't, the best way is to specialize in a particular area. It really helps you get in the governance also, or in development sector anywhere.
That makes complete sense. Thank you so much, Palak.
Thank you, Megha. It was a lovely conversation.